in the tri-bush, obviously amazing, was on top of the pink wall. There was a ward over in the brush to the side in River, so it would have been spotted as he came out anyway.
And this time Impaler here, he's not spotted. He can actually go for this. Oh, Tibbers!
Oh, Tibbers comes down, and there is the push straight in. Impaler not even having to use his ultimate from that one. And just as we're talking about amazing, hanging around by that bottom lane, Impaler replying perfectly to come back in there and pick up the second kill of the game for the Super Hot crew.
And just as we talked about, gank coming in and then they rotate from there onto the Dragon. That's the, the beauty of ganking bot lane. If you can take down one of them, there's really no chance for Copenhagen Wolves to fight for this one. They have to try and steal with either Cowtard or at least going in for Smite Steal, which is very risky.
I was kind of right, the next big fight for Dragon there. A little bit before that in the bottom lane. There is a defensive barrel actually coming out of Moops. They stop the Dragon being taken down. It's going to be picked up, but Impaler's going to die. Rallers is going to die as well. That is two big kills coming in from the Wolves.
And just as we say, Copenhagen Wolves can't really fight for it. Every single ultimate from them is hitting Impaler, so he drops so low. It was such an easy kill. And Mr. Rallers at the same time as well. He got hit by both the ultimate from Ezreal and also the 6 bomb, so he just died instantly. And Copenhagen Wolves took 2 kills for it.
Trying to actually put some pressure onto this bottom lane as well. Amazing. Did fall decently low in that one. And Annie, just recalling, leaves that bottom turret completely open. So we'll see exactly how much damage Forgiven and Unlimited could do. They did a lot earlier, don't forget, as they were pushed up on it the entire first 8 minutes of the game.
And notice how they're not actually hitting the turret. They wanted to kill as many minions as possible to deny them from Mr. Rallers. So wisely enough, they're just waiting. And then in the end, they can just let the minions kill it or last hit it for the extra gold. And smart play by Copenhagen Wolves. They completely punish Super Hot crew for going Dragon, and they punish Impaler for being hit by every single ultimate from Copenhagen Wolves.
Textbook stuff on that front, that's for sure. If you look at the items between the AD carries down bottom, pretty much a mirror image there, apart from the health and mana pot that we see with Mr. Rolls. But for you, if we end up getting into a 2v2 here, who's the strongest between them? Now that Annie is level 6 and has Tibbers up there, do they have that edge?
That's the thing. If they can manage to kill them with the upfront burst they have with Tibbers and with Lucian, they will be the strongest. But if Copenhagen Wolves can escape this one and start poking them, they will actually win it in the end, just by extending the fight and constantly poking on to Super Hot crew. And Forgiven is doing a great job farming. He's beating him by 20 CS, and it all boils down to, first of all, the starting level 1 scenario where they pushed them to the turret and got them behind, and also the fact he come back to lane here when Mr. Viles was dead and pick some CS up.
Bit of a fight in the top lane, if we can really call it that, between Youngbuck and Mima. They're just basically gonna have a few hits on each other, trade a bit of damage, and in the end, both will just walk away. Mid lane, though, might not be the case. Cowtard and Amazing again teaming up to put the damage in there. Impaler just decoyed in to see if he could get in range to maybe start things off. His ultimate was available, as was Moop's explosive cast there as well. In the end, though, they didn't manage to get anything. Amazing goes back on his way. One thing I like from the Wolves, though, is that they do have these 2 wards down deep in the enemy red side of things. And let's not forget, Amazing stole away the red last time it spawned.
And right now, he's just going to wait for Impaler to run in if he was nearby for the red, and he would be able to more or less get him so low and force him away so he could take it. Impaler is completely all plans though than his red buff. He want to gank this bot lane once again. He want to get Mr. Rallers going. He already got 2 kills. If he can get 1 more, he can actually start really being a threat.
There's a ward in that brush, but Mixer has a flash and he's going to use it here. Tibbers comes down on towards Forgiven. Have they got the damage? They're calling the barrel. Moop picks up the kill onto Forgiven. Max range there. Another solid rotation by the Super Hot crew. That's going to give them their first turret.
But it's going to cost them the mid turret because both Cowtard and Amazing is there to push it. But Super Hot crew, they're investing everything into this bot lane. They want to make sure that Mr. Rallers gets the kill and the farm he needs to be able to carry the team fights. And it's now, it cost them the mid turret, they did get a kill and the bot turret for this one, so it's worth it for Super Hot crew.
So Athene's Unholy Grail being picked up after that kill there by Moops as Gragas, as he gets himself back off into the lane. Always nice to have there. Obviously his opposing Number does have that Athene's Unholy Grail as well, and a blasty one actually we should say for Moops, so he's going to be doing some decent damage now in that one. He is quite far behind on the CS. As we said though, early game he got harassed a lot. He's had a bit of time to roam down from that one. It's to be expected.
It is to be expected, but we also need to have Super Hot crew coming back now in the game. They need to come back to the lanes and actually start really picking up the farm they need, because they've gotten the levels, they've gotten the items. And meanwhile though, Amazing, he's just rotating around the map, not to gank, but just to pick up turrets or at least some turret damage.
And doing a good job of it as well there. A lot of damage onto that top tower. Mima was forced to back away, and between Youngbuck and him, they can take these minions out like nobody's business, and they should have this turret away on this wave. Mima, as I said, can't come up, but Super Hot Crew are actually moving into position. They just went over a pink ward, which will reveal their position, and actually I'm not sure that Moops even noticed it.
No, but Super Hot Crew, they feel the pain of playing against 6, who can just wave clear all the time. There were 4 people in mid lane, but there was no wave, so they couldn't move in for the turret, and instead they end up giving up the top turret without getting anything in exchange. So what it means for this game at least is the fact that with Coutard, if he can stay in this mid lane and just constantly wave clear, and the rest of the Copenhagen Wolves can do what they're doing now, move around on the other lanes and take up kills, towers and objectives, it's going to be an issue for Super Hot Crew unless they dive Coutard.
Well, that may just happen. You will see the ultimate going across, wanting to get him in a long-range farm there. Was forgiven in the end. Youngbuck says, no mate, you just going low for me, made it just all that easier for me to finish them off. Thank you very much. He's got a Sunfire Cape now added in, as does Mima on Shyvana, but he's also moving up to that Blade of the Ruin King at the same time.
He is, and once he finishes Blade of the Ruin King, he can really start dueling Renekton and actually win it. And then the whole split pushing scenario is going to start from Shyvana, where you basically have to draw people from Copenhagen Wolves up there, while the rest of Super Hot Crew takes something else. But just as I talked about before, 6 will be an issue, because he can wave clear all the time. He can even stand in the mid lane, throw his ultimate bot, clear the wave there, and force Super Hot Crew to do something else than having just Mima split pushing.
And if we look there at his items, he's now got that needlessly large rod added in. Does Coutard, so he's going to be hitting all the more. Also got his blue buff in, as does Moops, and they start to move up. That middle turret, of course, was taken down a little previously. We've got less than a quarter of a minute until that Baron actually, until Dragon comes up once again. Youngbuck actually trying to stop Mima from going down to that one, at least damaging him enough that they don't have a big tank at the front line of that one. That's a good job from Youngbuck, the rest of the team making sure that Super Hot Crew didn't start it off.
Yeah, and if Copenhagen Wolves can keep poking away with the Ezreal, with the 6 onto Super Hot Crew, and maybe get someone like Impaler low, they can actually force Super Hot Crew to back off from this Dragon, and they can get it for free. However, Super Hot Crew is doing a good job avoiding the poke so far.
So, Dragon started here by Amazing. Does, wow, that was the Tibbers coming down, but onto Unlimited, and there was no one there to follow it up. Impaler's decoy actually took most of the damage from that one, and they actually turn around, going on towards Moops' ultimate. Won't save him. Coutard picks up that one. Can they finish off Mima? He's going to ult straight over the top of the wall, and in the end, the Dragon was backed away from by the Wolves, but they pick up the kill onto Moops, which lowers their steal potential considerably, and they finish it off as they go back in. Great move from the Wolves, 4,000 gold lead.
A very messy engage from Super Hot Crew right here. Basically, Mixer went in with the Tibbers, nobody followed up. Impaler tried to come in for the fight, but he got poked and he had to back out, and instead they catch on to Moops with Youngbuck going for him, and they pick up an easy kill and the Dragon. Super Hot Crew, they need to be more decisive when they're going in. Everyone has to kind of collapse at the same time, especially Tibbers and Wukong ultimate.
I just saw actually Amazing putting a ward down, which was then cleared off, so a pink ward, they know that's there, and Amazing, as you can see, is hanging around thinking, okay, do I want to go in for that one? Although the red buff should be coming up here quite shortly, the last 2 were both stolen away by Amazing.
And basically what Impaler did, every time red was up and he knew Amazing was going to try and steal it, he went bot lane and set something up because he knew Amazing wouldn't be there. So he kind of traded the red buff for gank. It's a risky one, because if you don't get the gank, a successful gank in the bot lane, you kind of just give up your red buff for free. But no, Mixer coming in.
Mixer coming in there, but he takes a lot of damage. That's a good Rocky coming back. Ulti comes out from Zig. Mixer not quite finished. But they turn around onto Moops. Can they finish him? Flash from Amazing. He gets the kill onto Mixer. Rawls will blast back though and does get the kill. He flashes away. Meanwhile, Youngbuck went low. Coutard now getting a lot of pressure. Mima's going to try and chase him down. Don't know if they got the damage there, but Unlimited is going to be chasing. Impaler slams down, and that will be 2 for 1 here in favor of the Super Hot Crew.
And Super Hot Crew, they punished Copenhagen Wolves for only being 4 people in this area. Forgiven was far away, then they spotted him and they went in for the fight. A bit of a weird engage by Mixer. He didn't even get his Tippers down, but he did manage to start the fight at least, and the rest of Super Hot Crew come in and pick up 2 kills.
But still messy, we have to say, from this
Very.
one. The Wolves, they've done a decent fight down by Dragon before. They kind of messed this one up, maybe overestimated their power at this stage of the game. And red buff in the end will end up going over towards the Super Hot crew once again. Rals, in the meantime, he's spent a lot of time back down on this bottom lane farming. Is still behind that of Forgiven, but you know, if he's a little bit behind in farm but in the team fights at the right time, then he'll probably take that trade any day of the week.
And he got the free kill, so he should actually be ahead in gold compared to Forgiven, which means even though he's slightly behind, he can sacrifice that farm and be with the team as we saw before. The Forgiven was standing bot lane trying to farm up, and the rest of the Copenhagen Wolves kind of went in a little bit too aggressive on the red bot.
There's the blue barrel down by Moop. So 20-minute mark. About to hit the clock. We're tied on the kills. 3-1 in turrets though for the Copenhagen Wolves, and that's a little bit worrying for Super Hot crew. Push in and take towers of their own. It
is definitely, and that's kind of the issue potential. So it's very hard for both teams to do anything on the map unless they get a kill somewhere. So either we have to wait for the next dragon, or one of these teams are gonna say, you know what, we're gonna go now into the enemy jungle and try and set something up.
Well, we see anything around Baron. The first ward's starting to be placed around the backside of the pit and in the pit itself. It's blue. We can see the Unlimited here picking himself up the Chalice. Also got his GP10 rolling a little bit earlier than that of Mixer as well.
Definitely, and he wants to complete the Talisman, so he has both Talisman and his own speed up. That's a lot of, you know, both disengage but also engage potential for Copenhagen Wolves. And it's gonna help someone like Youngbok to actually get in there, because he's the only hard engage they have in this lineup is Youngbok dashing in, stunning a target, or landing a cocoon on Amazing. They don't have like the Wukong stealthing in or the flash tapers from Annie to set up a fight.
Yep, rely a lot more on coordination and skill shots, that's for sure. Not that, you know, flash tippers is the easiest thing to land in the world. We've seen our fair share of those being whiffed somewhat. But Mixer, he's just going to be recalling back in the middle lane. Kautar just keeping that wave pushed up beyond the halfway mark. And they'll be all happy with that one. Speaking of the supports there as well, Mikhail's Crucible actually finished off by Unlimited. That come down and stun out Forgiven or Kautar in the middle of a fight. He can remove that.
Exactly. This is purely to stop their stun on someone from Annie. If Annie managed to hit, let's say, 6 or Forgiven, he can throw down the Mikhails and therefore cleanse them so they can get out of the range of Wukong when he comes in with the Cyclone. It's actually a smart pickup, even though there's only one thing he can really use it on.
Oh, both teams seem reluctant here to really challenge for things, and maybe a case of waiting until that next dragon comes up. That's in just over a minute's time from now.
Yeah, and Super Crew, they were also waiting for Mima to finish his Blade of the Rune King, which he has now. He's going to return to this top lane, and now he really want to try and duel with Renekton. You really want to try and shove him out of the lane and force him to go elsewhere, maybe towards the dragon, and then they can trade it for a tower. If they don't feel confident in fighting, they are behind, and Copenhagen Wolves have a very good combo at this point, and they have a lot of poke to set up before the fight. So if Copenhagen Wolves now can move down and get full vision control, it's going to be hard for Super Crew to do anything.
Well, it's pushing out this bottom wave as well here. Maybe that mid lane. Now, you can tell that these two teams want this win. Or I'd say at this point in the season, you know, considering how both teams have been playing and they're tied in the table, you need this kind of win. This is the kind of win that separates you come the end of the year.
Yeah, of course, and this is against another team who just joined the league, so you really want to make sure that you're not one of them who's dropping out or dropping down to relegation at least. So these matches are very, very important. You notice right here, Renekton already moved down towards the dragon. Mima, he's staying top. He want to just try and get this turret down, and then they can give over or try and steal the dragon with Gragas, or just give it simply to Copenhagen Wolves and say, you know what, we're fine with this, we don't want to fight you at the moment.
Well, the Wolves have started that one off, but it's got less than half HP, which is basically no HP when you've got an Elise there with Smite as well. Mima will take down this turret. He's going to have to tank up a couple of hits of it, but that really won't make much of a dent onto him. So that was the trade that happened. Dragon for the Wolves, top turret for Mima and the Super Hot crew.
And this kind of shows the different combos. You have the split pushing Shyvana, and you have the team fighting Renekton. He didn't want to stay up top because he thought there were going to be a fight, but Super Hot crew again, they simply said, we are not in a position to fight, we're not strong enough, we need some key items on our members. Impaler, for instance, he has to get a lot more tanky before he can really jump in there, put down his ultimate without dying instantly.
Actually, red buff given over on towards Mima, which Actually makes a lot of sense for him now that he's in that top lane, that he's got his Blade of the Ruin King. That gives him the chance to not only duel there with Youngbuck, but have the chance to keep him slowed enough to kill it.
Yeah, and the fact that Youngbuck has gone for full tank, there's no Hydra or anything, means that he won't be able to touch Mima. He has no damage on him at this point due to both the ultimate of Mima, but also the Sunfire. So he's more or less giving up the lane at the moment, and due to Mima also having the red buff, we instantly see him shoving all the way down.
Another couple of big items coming in there as well. Actually, the Aegis finished off here for Amazing. We've seen a variety of builds when it comes to Elise, from very defensive, tanky Elise builds right the way to the full AP, super insane damage builds on Elise. What do you think to the Aegis in this stage?
Well, once he gets the locket with it, it's fairly good versus the engage from Annie and also the Cyclone from Wukong, because you have all this AoE damage. If you can stop some of the hard engage from Super Hard Crew and make sure your members survive, so you can start disengaging and kiting around with the Karma, with Ezreal, and also, the bombs from 6, it actually it makes sense, and it can be pretty strong in team fights if you can manage to get it down on multiple people when the engage start from Super Hard Crew.
Spirit Visage was just finished off, by the way, for Youngbuck's Renekton on that top side of the map. But both teams, again, we thought maybe around Dragon might be an explosive moment. In the end, it was just a trade-off turret for Dragon. And again, they've come back to that kind of tug-of-war game almost. In all three lanes, one guy just pushes it out, the next guy from the other team just pushes it straight back, not wanting to risk anything at this stage of the game.
No, and both teams seems happy just farming away and going towards the really late game scenario. Again, Shyvana, she's going to keep being stronger and stronger. Gragas, he has a good late game, he has a lot of burst potential. You have Lucian versus Ezreal, both AD carries. I would say Lucian has the edge late game, but Ezreal is definitely still very good. He can deal a lot of damage and he's very hard to catch. And then support-wise, you have the more disengaged, focused Karma versus the hard engage on Annie. So all in all, both teams just seem happy farming away and nobody really want to take any risk.
No risks at all being made by either team, really. See that throughout these last, well, I'd say 10 minutes by now. There's certainly been this tug of war in action. They're taking everything that they possibly can from the jungles. Rals has basically done circles around the river and that tri-bush there as he pushes waves in, goes back, clears out whatever wards may have been put down there, and does exactly the same over and over again. A couple of more items actually coming out now, so another Giant's Belt actually picked up for Youngbuck. We can see between the two AD carries, both of them gone Bloodthirster. A Last Whisper actually picked up from Rals. Compare that over to a Trinity Force and what is going to be a Last Whisper here for Forgiven afterwards.
Yeah, Forgiven is going to be very close to his Last Whisper. He most likely want to complete it before Copenhagen will set up anything. The fact though that Youngbuck is going this full tank style also means that Amazing have been able to go for more Magic Pen, so he has a bit more damage to deal with because they have this Renekton in the front line taking all the damage. Super Hard Crew, they pretty much forcing Impaler to build damage, because Mima, you can't hard engage on Shyvana. You can come in from the side maybe and then start tanking away, but they need Impaler to be able to go in, pop his ultimate and stay in there to do the damage.
Ral's pushed very aggressive up on this bottom side of the map though, once again forcing that wave through. And the supports, if you look at them, probably a key item as well we have to look at is the Talisman compared to Nomad's Medallion there, which means that not only do they have Karma, who gives your entire team a speed boost anyway, but with the Talisman in there as well, Super Hard Crew need to be a little bit careful not to get caught as a team too far up a lane.
Yeah, and again, this is why the Locket works for Copenhagen Wolves, because they can lock it and shield from Karma, and therefore survive the engage and then start kiting away or chasing Super Hard Crew with all the move speed that Karma now brings. And 6, wave clearing. As always, Mima, he's staying in this, he just want to push, and the rest of Super Hard Crew, except for Mr. Rales, are just going to wave clear in the mid lane.
Hey, very much farm-heavy game, I think we can safely say, at this point of things. Waiting for that next bit of action to come in, which may not be too far away. If we look at the top left there, Dragon is coming up in 1 minute's time. At least one team's going to fight for this one, Deficio.
Well, at least we can hope so.
We can hope so, yeah.
Mima, I'm not sure if he's going to stay here in the top lane, or he's just going to shove it out and then rotate to Dragon, and Super Hard Crew actually feel confident in fighting now. Otherwise, Copenhagen Wolves will just take it up for free once again. We've seen how fast they take it with release. They're actually setting up for Baron here.
Oh, they're actually going to go in, but that's the decoy, guys. And, well, they killed Impaler, but it wasn't the right Impaler. That's the key point of that one. The aggro Baron, as they were going as well, took a couple of hits from that one. And the whole time, Rals pushing down this bottom lane. going to be doing some good damage onto that turret as well. They've got to send someone in there, otherwise they're going to lose it. The option is go for Baron and force Rawls to back away.
Copenhagen Wolves want something to happen. They want a team fight. They feel confident they have the stronger one. Super Hot Crew, they are having 4 people there and they have a lot of poke with the Gragas. Might even be able to steal the Baron. And meanwhile, Riley's just pushing.
Wow, they're being very aggressive here, Super Hot Crew. There's a Cocoon landing on towards Mixer. The barrel going to force them away, but Countdown gets the 1 kill. Impaler's decoy was taken away and he flashed over the backside of things. Youngbuck now trying to chase down Moots. This entire time, though, this is backfiring possibly on the Wolves. Yes, they got a kill. It's the support, but look at that. They're losing an inhibitor turret. They finally sent Ziggs back, and that was so calmly played by the Super Hot Crew.
Yeah, Mixer, he goes in, he sacrifices himself to stop Copenhagen Wolves from doing the Baron. The entire Copenhagen Wolves team, they move away from it and go and kill him. And thereon, they just try and chase around Super Hot Crew. Meanwhile, Mr. Riley is just pushing the bot lane. They do get the Dragon, however, which giving quite a lot of gold at this point. So they'll be fairly happy, but losing it wasn't good. We might see a fight.
Oh, this is an interesting one because Impaler's there as well. Oh my god, the damage coming down. 2 kills. Forgiven's got no mana. He's got his barrier, but that's not going to save him. He got 1 kill to give him some credit there, but they get caught out. That's 3 for 1. Even though they got the Dragon, they're not the trade that the Wolves were looking for.
Definitely not. Copenhagen Wolves felt safe in taking this one, so they moved down there, even with only 3 members. Super Hot Crew, though, they came down from behind and they just instantly punished it, got in there, got the damage they needed, took 3 kills, and now they can push this mid turret.
Let's see if they can, though. Coutard is going to be spamming his abilities out. Youngbuck is there as well, and he is ridiculously tanky at this point in the game. He can stick to you. Mime are actually starting to back away. He's just going to go back to his top lane pushing game. The rest of the Super Hot Crew do decide to back off from that one as well. So still a very tense game here.
But this is the decision making from Copenhagen Wolves we've touched on in the pre-game. How once they get to this mid-late game scenario, they make some risky moves, and they make some moves that often end up costing them. This time around, going for the Dragon with only 3 members. The rest of the team weren't there, meant that Super Hot Crew could come down and take more or less free kills just for free. Except, okay, Mr. Alice died for it, but I think it's a trade they'll take any day.
They're just going to go up there and clear out that Baron pit once again. I just see 1 single ward at the backside, but Super Hot Crew still got decent vision around completely. And I like this pink ward there on the brush as well. It allows them to see, okay, any trap wards, as we saw before. Impaler's decoy actually was that got caught out, but that stops them sitting in Baron pit, putting a ward over and waiting for Super Hot Crew to come in and then pouncing.
Exactly. It also means that if Copenhagen Wolves starts it, Moobs can stand on that ping ward and feel safe that he's not going to get either, killed or stunned up when he's about to try and steal it, if it's that way they're going. Mr. Rice, he's just returning to the bot lane, and Mime is just returning to the top lane. Super Crew just want to get them farming all the time and just keep Moobs to wave clear the mid lane.
It's interesting if you look at the CS totals here between those AD carries, because Raz has had so many waves down in that bottom lane. He's sat at 285 to the 303 though of Forgiven, who's doing a great job. If we look at the gold, there's only about 100 between them at this point in the game. The kills evening that up. But look at this, the Wolves going straight in for the turret. Super Hot Crew can't do anything this time, but Raz is going to be pushing the inhib now.
Yeah, they need someone to recall very, very fast to go on and stop him or try and close on him. He's going to take this one, and he might die for it, but he doesn't care, because getting an inhib is so big at this point.
Well, I don't even know if he's going to die for it, to be honest there. He isn't. They take that inhibitor, and Super Hot Crew doing a great job of not allowing the Copenhagen Wolves to back away and recall. Kautar did manage to recall, but it's just too late.
Yeah, but all in all, going for the mid turret for Copenhagen Wolves was an okay move if it wasn't for Mr. Riley in the bot lane. They didn't send Forgiven down to try and stop him, or the 6 down to try and stop him. So all in all, they trade turret for inhib, and they can be happy with this. Everything for Copenhagen Wolves is not going as planned the last 5 minutes.
See that, another red buff stolen away by the Copenhagen Wolves. Give them credit, that's something they've done really well this game, is control the red on both sides of the map. Finally, someone's going to go down from Wolves' side of things to clear out that bottom lane. Actually, 2 of them are going to go there this time, so that's even a little bit of overkill, which again, could end up costing you if they get spotted.
It is. I mean, they could have, if Super Crew were in a position to go for or force a Baron fight, but they're not. They're still, just more or less farming up everywhere. I will actually be more or less, I will expect to see Super Crew now trying to set something up. They have the bot lane pushing with the super wave. They can go and get vision control of this Baron area and then force Copenhagen Wolves into a bad fight. If they just keep farming and keep split pushing with Mimer, we are in for a very, very long game.
And they've also got a couple of good defensive items in here. We see the Banshee's Veil for Impaler. We see the Zhonya's as well for Moop. So they can afford to be that little bit more aggressive and they don't have that protection in there behind them. We're going to see a Banshee's coming out for Mr. Rolls as well, which will certainly help out. It could stop the Cocoon hitting, you could stop a stun coming out, a big blast from Kautar's ultimate. A lot of different options there that Banshee's good against.
Yeah, the Banshee more or less will remove any kind of engage Copenhagen Wolves actually have, unless they can break it, and then, yeah, Youngbuck going in, dashing in, trying to land a stun. And it's actually a big issue for Copenhagen Wolves, because due to them having no hard engage, they couldn't just shove up one of the waves and then dive a turret or set something up. They've been forced to kind of follow Super Hot Crew around on the map, and it's ended up costing them, and now Super Hot Crew is actually starting the Baron.
Starting the Baron, they've got Shyvana in the top lane there. Mima sat by, that's a good barrel coming out from Moops, and they're going to instigate in this one. They go on towards Kautar, and he gets blown to pieces. Moops here is going to get that kill, and they also chase them out with Rolf getting another. Moops picks up his second in that fight. That's a 3 for nothing. And look at those green health bars for the Super Hot Crew. They didn't take any damage there.
Just as we talked about, Super Hot Crew could move down, get vision control of this area, and then start the Baron. Copenhagen Wolves had to kind of run in without being 5, and it ended up just going completely wrong for them. Paler went on to Kautar and managed to lock him up and then kill him and just chase the rest out.
I'd say that Youngbuck's in trouble here. He actually might be by the end of it, but he's just so ridiculously tanky. The rest of the team coming across, and they're going to try and take a turret away. We're actually tied 4-4 on turrets, which kind of paints a misleading picture because the inner turret's still up in the middle and the top lane, and even the outer turret here in that middle lane. It's all because of that push from earlier on in the bottom lane from Mr. Rolls that they've actually got those 4 turrets. They're going to start coming in for them, and that gives them not just the Baron and the kills there that gives them the gold, but these turrets that they're going to push down. Actually going aggressive here on towards Youngbuck, and that's a lot of damage coming out. There's going to be a bit of damage right back at them, and Moops has to use that Zhonya's. Don't think he's going to be able to escape. No, shut down in the end from Forgiven.
And that was very aggressive move by Super Hot Crew. They actually already got the turret in the top lane with Mima, so they didn't have to go for more. They could have backed out. They felt confident they can pick up a kill. In the end, it backfired. They gave away, you know, the kill on Gragas. But oh, they're actually going in.
Oh, and Paler going to get right in the middle of them. Tibbers comes down as well. That's so much damage. Amazing. Going to repel from that one. Youngbuck's a crocodile. He can't jump up in the air like that, though. He falls. Unlimited's going to get chased down by Mr. Rolls. And that's more kills coming the way of the Super Hot Crew. And they're not done just yet. Mima chasing Forgiven. There's no turret behind him. That inhibitor turret and the inhibitor itself was taken down earlier on, and Mima pushes through here. There's only 2 men alive here for the Copenhagen Wolves. This could actually be really dangerous.
They can maybe even try and get a Nexus turret. There's only 1 left, and they have the mini wave coming with them down bot.
Kautar just getting absolutely demolished there. Nexus turret's gone down. They can actually win the game right here. There's 20 seconds until the next guys actually start to spawn in. Kautar takes another big hit. He's trying to get some health back. There is a true shot. Mirage picks up a kill, but they're already focusing the Nexus. The culling comes down. Less than half HP left, and there is the finisher. The Super Hot Crew take out the Copenhagen Wolves. A very, very tense game. Neither team wanting to risk anything, but in